Pick band system and a quick explanation on how the system operates. First thing we're going to have to notice is the map rotation. It has been adjusted. Game 1 is no longer Padoria Morning Dew. It is going to be Padoria Midnight for the Fireflies. And the second round for Holoroth Sunny is changing towards Holoroth Starry Night. These are the only two Firefly maps, the only two rage-based maps. Morris Isle for game 3 isn't changed from midday to dawn. That means it's overcast. For game 4, we have Padoria Morning Dew. So we're switching that one over there. For game 5, we are going to have Holoroth Cloudy. This means that the Ghastly Mist is going to be in effect. For game 6, for the 6-round format, it is going to be Morris Isle midday. This is the new changes in terms of the map rotation. This is how the system is going to be for trios and how it operates. Still having the pick band mode, there are still going to be 9 hero points. If you guys don't know, the 0035 rule, the 0035 rule is in effect, meaning if you use a character once, no cost to your points. You use a character twice, still no cost. The moment you use that character a third time, doesn't matter if it's the player, as the team utilizes Cyra, for instance, the third time, that's going to cost them 3 points. That is going to deduct their points overall, and 5 points if they use them 4 times. Still, though, the changes that are occurring, instead of it being 3 phases, or 3 groups, it is going to be 4 groups. That's because there is going to be 4 phases. I will explain that later. Going into this is going to be the normal settings we're going to have going through. Now, our overview of going through the pick bands is this: 12 teams established. They will be going into game 1 in terms of the selections. Now, this is going to be the first change. The first 2 rounds in the 6th phase, meaning the first 2 rounds between Padoria Midnight Firefly and Hollow Starry Night, they are going to take the top 2 most played comps from the previous week, if I'm not mistaken, going into the current week. This is meaning that if it's the previous day that was played out, or the previous week where, let's say, the most played comp was the Kylan Tianhai into Zipping. Let's say this comp was the most picked comp. This will be the comp played by every single team inside of the selection process. Now in Pantheon, what we can do to go ahead and switch that up is going to go ahead and force heroes for all the teams. And this is the 3 heroes that we're choosing. We are confirming that. And this is going to be the only heroes that are going to be going across every single team. As you can see, every team under Padoria Midnight are going to garnish this team comp. There is no questions about it. Now, after we go ahead and do that, we're going to go ahead, upload out for result. Don't worry about the players for the scoreboard. This is just going to go ahead as filler. For game 2, the second most team comp is going to be played for Hollow Starry Night. This means now we choose the second most comp. For example, we will have Takeda, Cyra, and Tumulch. This will be the 4 hero comps out of this round. Takeda, Cyra, Tumulch, right? Going out of there, these guys are going to be the second most played comp. That means that every single team are forced to play this comp for game 2. And mind you, like I said, only the first 2 rounds are going to be with Fireflies. After we confirm this out, as you can see in the spectator, every team's confirmed for this comp. We then go off in terms of getting to game 3. This is where the phase system is to be allowed. Now, as a quick summary in terms of the phase system, usually we had 3 phases where if a character was chosen 3 times or 4 times, there would be a +1 points increase. Now that is deducted down to 2 or 3 times in a phase. So if I were to go ahead and start choosing out the characters, if I was a phase 1 team to be choosing this one out, which days? Here it is. It should be one of these teams. Here we go. If I decide to go ahead, let's say for the sake of the argument, we're gonna play, this is not an old school comp. Let's say we want to play our Zipping, Tianhai, and Kylan. As you can see, there is a 1 here that is yellow. Because the comp was played in one of the first 2 rounds as a mirror comp, that counts as a use. If you remember that statement, that 0035 I was mentioning earlier, 0035, the amount of times that you use the character, this will be the times that it comes out to where it increases the hero times usage. So for this team, they could still go ahead upon using this character if they want to. 100%, not against them. They don't have anything about it. But if they decide to use that, that is going to be their second time used. That means that this character gets alongside. Now, bringing this up, we're having the characters chosen twice. I'm going to purposefully make this just a 2 times choice pick. So there's only 2 times that this character is going to be used. And for the third comp, we're going to switch over to Takeda with Tumulch and Cyra. That way you can show what I'm talking about in the phase 2. Since in phase 2, for these teams that are next, they will then have a +1 ban on the Kylan former with the Kylan, the Tianhai, and the Ziping. Notice how that was only chosen twice from the previous teams. There was only 2 teams that chose this team comp, and as such, if they decide to go ahead and bring out this comp again, let's say they're not the only ones thinking about doing that. Let's say, okay, you know what? There's only +1. They don't see this team ban. They don't know what characters are going to be chosen in their same phase. Let's say they choose them 4 times. And let's say the last remaining team says, I like to play out the Cicada, the Tumult, the Cyra, pretty good comp to be chosen out. Now, this team comp has been chosen now 4 times. This team comp has been chosen out 3 times. We go into the third phase, which is going to be team 7, 8, and 9. As you can see, there is a +2 on Tianhai, +2 on Ziping, +2 on Kylan. The 4 times that they were chosen means that now they're going to be on +2, meaning that if we wanted to expend our points by choosing these characters, we can do so. You see how we have 9 hero points? Every single time we're using these characters, we are expending 2 points per. This means that you have to be careful by when it comes down to phase 3. Otherwise, you can start losing your points very rapidly. So, and as such, the Tianhai in terms are the Tumult into Takeda into the Cyra. That is still available. But let's say only one team decides to bring this up here into phase 3. And let's say we go ahead and say, you know what? Have at it. We have another team comp to go ahead, bring out another Cyra going in there with the Cicada. And then the final team comp can go ahead and bring out, with the Justina and hopefully see if it with the Viper, with the Weishan, just for halvesies. We go into the final phase, into phase 4. You will then see how many points start to rack up between these guys because of the choice pick. So as a reminder, if a character is chosen 2 or 3 times in a phase, the following phase, it will be +1. If it's chosen 4 times or greater, the following phase, they will be +2. So now you're left into phase 4. You cannot choose these characters unless you want to expend all your points. Like I stated, you start with 9. This is already a one-time use comp in terms of the characters. They've already been played once in the first 2 rounds. And like I said, we're only on round 3. And this is going to be where you're going to have to start really distinguishing what comps you want to bring to the table as well, just to make sure if you have your selections in progress. Keep in mind, though, is that this is still going to go alongside for the next 3 rounds. The phases, you will never have a repeat chance on the same phase. You will continue on between phases 1 through 4, wherever you start off on. And seeing how this is going to end up going through, you will just keep progressing further and further in. So, that being stated, should be okay. And that should be the explanation to kind of get you situated for this comp. Now, don't be too scared about how this operates, right? This is going to be something that you guys get practice on. A lot of the times, if you want to try to test it out inside of Pantheon yourselves, you can. This is testing grounds for you. And I'd say if you end up getting a chance of actually looking at the way that this is operated on, that you get used to how the 4-phase system goes through. So, with that being said, that is going to be the case. That is going to be the teams. We're actually going to go ahead and actually hide, unhide the banned heroes, or rather the anonymization of the teams. And in which case, you can actually see which teams actually go through here from the previous phase and how they get moved overall. So you can see how it goes out. This is game 4. We go ahead, upload up just because we can. We're going to go ahead and get this going. Where team 10, 11, and 12 were in that first phase. They then go into phase 4 right then and there. So just keep that in mind. You'll move down well. You'll see the teams in phase 2 go to phase 1. Teams that are in phase 1 go to phase 4. Teams that go to phase 4 goes to phase 3. Teams that go from phase 3 go to phase 2. That's only going to have one full rotation. And that's going to be it for trios.